Okay. Chapter 4, work and leisure or leisure. You can pronounce it either way. So, let's have a look at these pictures that are given here and let's try to make sense of what people do. What are these activities all about? Look at the activities shown in the pictures below, discuss why they are important. What's happening in the first picture? Planting. Planting rice, right? Rice plantation, which is happening now during the month of Ashad and Shravan, right? And in the next picture, what do you see there? Teaching. Teaching, that's the activity. What about the third one here? Swimming, playing games. It seems like a space where, people go to play with water games. Right? And what about the next one? Trekking, traveling. So these are some of the activities. How do you spend your time, your leisure time? What do you do when you are free? Leisure. Leisure means? Free. To be free. Free time is also called as leisure. Or an activity that you do when you are free. When free time is called leisure, right? Work. So either we can be working or we can be free, right? For example, for students, when is the leisure time? When are you free? So when? Generally Saturday you have a little bit of leisure time. Or during festivals like Dashain, Tihar or other festivals, right? And after exam also you have some leisure time. What do you do when you have leisure time? When you can spend, how do you spend your leisure time? Doing some other activities rather than studying, right?
Yes.
Maybe helping somebody or working in the garden or working in the tailor room or taking a little more rest, right, during the day also that you don't get when you have school, watching television or traveling a little bit, right, that also you do, right, you go trekking often and once in a year at least. So all of these things that are the things that you do when you have leisure time. Why do you think it is necessary to keep balance between work and leisure or leisure? Why should we balance between work and leisure or leisure? Why? Why is it important that we balance it? We can't always be working, right? Work generally, how do we understand work? What is work? Work is generally understood as an activity that you do on a regular basis to make your life. Right? It's kind of a job that you are constantly engaged in. You have to do it even when you don't like it. But of course, that can be a different thing, right? But most of the people are working even when they are not satisfied with it. So that's why when you are working but not satisfied, but you want some change, what do? You take a day off, you take a few days off and you find some leisure time. We don't want to continue with whatever we are doing for a long period of time. We want some break, right, in between. Because every day doing the same thing again and again and again from morning to evening can be monotonous, can be tiring. Listen carefully, try to get these words. So whenever you are doing something for a long period of time, what can happen? Work can be monotonous. Work can be monotonous. Oops. It can be tiring. It can be boring. Right? And then when you take some leisure time, what happens? You feel refreshed. What do you feel?
Refreshed.
You feel refreshed. In order to refresh, in order to get that energy back, what do? You take some leisure time. You become free. Right? So, to change that. Do you like something that is monotonous? No, we don't like something that is monotonous, right? We always want change in life. So if you want to change, if you want to have an experience of change, what do? You take leisure time. You free your monotonous, boring life. And that's why it's important to balance between work and leisure. Leisure can be anything actually. It can be, doing something that you are passionate about, like music, traveling, trekking, meditating, reading books. All of these can be your leisure time. If you are passionate about reading books may not be monotonous, right? Those people who love reading books, whenever they get opportunity, whenever they have time, they read books, and it refreshes them. What does it do? Refreshes them. And I always encourage students to read more and more, right? Make it a habit, make it a passion, so that whenever you have time, you can spend your leisure time by reading books, by learning something new. So, you have now this story, Cabbage White. Sarah and Jamie stood on their tiptoe and gave the card from their school to the tall man behind the counter of a farm. So the characters, Sarah and Jamie, right? Sarah and Jamie, what did they do? They stood on their tiptoe. What's a tiptoe? Tiptoe. So that's the part of the toe, right? And if you are standing like this, that's tiptoe. You can be tiptoeing. If you walk like this, that means you are tiptoeing. It's like walking on high heels, right? You are tiptoeing. So that's another thing. So if you are standing like this, you are tiptoeing. Okay. So they stood on their tiptoe. They stood like this because there was a tall man behind the bars, behind the gate, I guess, and gave and handed that tall man behind the counter of the farm, gave him what? A card. What did he give him? What did he give him? Card. Not gave him, give him, okay? A card. Gave him the card from their school. So they had received a card from their school, and then they handed that card to hand over. Is that no? To hand over, and they gave that card to that tall man who was behind the counter. So there was a counter like this, and the person was behind it. Right? So, person behind the counter. When you want to express that something is behind, something is at the back of something, then you can say behind. Okay. In front, behind. Okay. The counter of a farm. What's a farm? Farm is a place where you grow vegetables, where you grow fruits, where you grow other things, right? So that's farm, a farm, right? Like organic farm, isn't it? Okay. The man frowned and made a face. To make a face. Frown. Frown. Frown is, it's like something like that, you see. To frown. to lift your eyebrow and show a very peculiar expression, to frown. Okay? To move your eyebrow like this and show a peculiar, make a peculiar facial expression is called as to frown. Frown also can mean when you neglect or reject something, to frown. When you are not very much comfortable with it, right? To show that with your facial expression, to show that you are somehow hesitant about something. That's called as frown. F-R-O-W-N, frown. To frown upon something. That means not really acceptable to frown, okay? Frown upon. So what's frown?
To neglect.
So you change your eyebrows, you contract your eyebrows. I don't know how you make that expression, right? Like this. Eyebrows, right? To contract your eyebrows, to express what? Displeasure. Frown. So he frowned and made a face. He made some kind of... So when somebody is trying to reject something or is showing up displeasure, what do you see? They make a different face, right? Do you know this? Right? You have to be an actor to show that, but I'm not an actor, so I'm not able to show it. But you want to make a face. Okay? Don't make a face. What does that mean? Don't show or don't make your face in such a way that it shows that you are not comfortable or that you are showing displeasure. To make a face. Making a face, okay? That means you are not happy. You are not accepting it. To make a face. By making a face, you show what? You show that you are not happy about it. To show some kind of contempt. Make a face. So you are looking for some work. And who are you? So that man asked, okay, so you are looking for something to do, right? And who are you? Asks the man. I am Sarah, I'm 12. This is my brother Jamie, he is 11. Replies who? Who says this?
Sarah.
Sarah says, and I'm Sarah, and I'm here with my brother Jamie, who is 11. Shouldn't you be at school? Asks the man. The man asks that, the man questions them. The man questions them, and what does he question?
Shouldn't you be at school?
He questions them that if they should be at this school. They were supposed to be at the school probably. Or maybe he does not know, because 11 and 12, who comes to work at farm at 11 and 12? Right? They were probably trying to volunteer for a day or two, right? But the man is a little doubtful. The man is a little doubtful. We are on holiday. What's a holiday? A free day is a holiday, right? A holiday can be from your work, from your school, it can be anything. And would like to earn some money. So this is a general normal practice in the Western countries. Students at the age of 11, 12 or 13, 14, they spend a few hours in the week. They go and work somewhere. Either it could be in a cafeteria or in a farm or in a place to make a little bit of pocket money. In Nepal, we don't do it, right? But in the Western countries, the students, they learn practical knowledge by working. Okay? Yeah, sir. Lazy bum. You come to the class and then you start swinging your head up. We're on holiday, right? Support of our parents. So they want to support their parents. And it's more than, it's really not about supporting the parents. It's about learning. When you work, you learn. The man lifted his hat. So he was wearing his hat like this, and then he lifted his hat and scratched his head. What do you mean by scratch? He started to scratch, Nepal and he scratched his head. Working in the farm is quite tough job. Tough means a difficult job, right? It's a difficult job for kids like you. Hey fellows, you are small children. It's difficult. Understand this. That's what he says. I need somebody big and strong to work here, he said. What did he say? This is a farm. This is not a play room or play space. And that he needs a strong fellow. Strong man who can lift things, who can carry, who can dig. Right? There must be some work for us in this big farm. Could you please find one? So they're requesting. Sarah is pleading. To say please. To plead means to really beg for something. To plead. Right? Plead means to ask for something in a very what do you say? In such a way that you put a lot of effort. Making a request. Ask for something in a requesting manner. With a lot of. It's gentle, right? When you ask for something in a very gentle way, that means you plead, please, 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 find us something to do. There must be something that we can do, and maybe we can make a little bit of money. So she requests. Who? Sarah requests. Could you please? That's the way of making a request. Could you please? Remember this. Could you please? So when in English, if you want to make a request, you can say, could you please? Could you please help me solve this mathematics problem? Alright? So, meanwhile, don't just understand the story. The thing about learning English is don't just try to understand the story, but try to actually learn also the structures of the sentences that we are using. Could you please? Right? You can use it, isn't it? If you want to improve English, always, whenever we do a lesson, always go through each and every sentence and try to assimilate, try to bring it in your knowledge, in your memory, in your brain, and use it in order to improve it. Okay? So could you please? Sarah pleaded. To plead means to request, to make a request in a very gentle way, in a very humble way. To really, to really surrender in some sense and ask something. Please, please, please. And right, let's see. Do you know what a cabbage white is? So he's asking a question. Do you know what a cabbage white is? No idea. Do you know what a cabbage white is? We'll figure it out. The man asked. So, you see, whenever you are writing, there are a lot of what? What do you see? Direct speech. Do you see all the direct speech here? Between the inverted commas? Please, have a look at this. All these inverted. These are all direct speeches, right? It's exactly what the speaker is saying. Either you can say, the man asked, and please, let's see, do you know what the cabbage white is? Or you can say, and right, let's see, what do you know what the cabbage white is? The man asked. It can be at the end. The man asked can go at the end also, you see here. Yes, it's a beautiful white butterfly that lays its eggs on cabbages. So cabbage whites, they are beautiful white butterflies. They are white butterflies and they lay eggs. Where do they lay their eggs?
On the
Cabbage. To lay. To give birth or to produce. Where do they produce? Where do they put their eggs?
On the cabbage.
Cabbages. Lay. And those eggs change into caterpillars. You know the story, right? You know the life cycle of butterfly. What happens? Butterfly lays eggs, right? It lays eggs.
Pupa, caterpillar, larva.
It lays eggs. Butterfly lays eggs. Eggs, they turn into larva. The larva stage itself is the caterpillar. And then caterpillar changes into
Pupa.
and then butterfly, right? That's the life cycle. So here, the white butterfly lays eggs on cabbages and those eggs change into caterpillars, answered Sarah. And do you know what the caterpillars do? And he's asking, what do the caterpillars do? What do the caterpillars do? Caterpillars, whenever an insect is at the stage of larva or at larva in the larva stage, what happens? They eat a lot. They eat whatever, all the leaves that they get. Right? If you know the life cycle of silkworm also, during the stage of larva they eat a lot. And that's the stage where they really eat a lot and they build their body. Alright? So, they eat the cabbage leaves, shouted Jamie. And Jamie, he shouted, he said, oh, they eat cabbage leaves. Aren't you afraid of caterpillars? Asked the man. Aren't you afraid? So these are the ways of asking questions. Aren't you afraid? Who is asking?
Man.
Not at all. What does not at all mean? No, I'm not afraid at all. I'm relaxed, I'm chill. Says, retorted. To retort is to reply. To reply. But it's a different type of reply. A very direct reply. Okay? Retort is not a very gentle way of replying. Retort. Okay? To give a reply in a strong way is called as retort. Alright, so I think I have a job for you. Who says this?
Man.
The man.
The man. Okay, so he finds a job finally. Oh, thank you very much. And what is the work? He asks. So they ask what the work was. I want you to check every single cabbage in the garden and eliminate. So he is asking them to go to the cabbage field here and then check here and there. What is there? All the caterpillars. Every single cabbage. Go and check every single cabbage and what? Eliminate.
Caterpillars.
Eliminate is to get rid of. To remove. Or to get rid. Please do get rid of all the caterpillars, replied the man. And then how are we supposed to do it? How? Wondered Jamie. So Jamie wondered. To wonder means to think about something, to be a little thoughtful. Wonder. To be a little thoughtful, wonder about something, to think about something, to find an answer. Wonder. You pick them off and collect them. So what do? You pick them off. To pick off. Remember this word, to pick off. So you have cabbage and you have caterpillars. The process of getting them or taking them away is called as picking off. Pick off. To pick off. O-F-F, off. Okay? So this verb takes preposition together. Pick off. Pick is a verb and then this verb takes what? Preposition. Verb and preposition. There are many verbs like that. Pick off. Turn off. Turn on. Walk away. Take off. Huh? Put on. Huh? Take off. Put on. All of these. These verbs are special verbs because they take along with them, what do? They take preposition along. So to pick off. Pick off and collect them. So you collect them. Is it alright if we collect them in one of these pails? Pails is a cylindrical vessel. Pail is something like this. It's a pail. A cylindrical vessel. So, okay, we'll collect them. Can we put them in the pail? Asks Jamie, I guess. Alright, how much will you pay us? Sarah asked. So how much are you going to give us? Right? Whenever you work, you have to ask for money. I mean, generally, unless it's a social service and so on, right? If you are going for a job, definitely you have to talk about salary, talk about money per hour. How much am I going to get, or per month, or per week, and so on. So Sarah also asks how much she was going to get. Hello. Let me see how you get on first. So the man in the farm, he says that I cannot decide at the moment. I'm not going to tell you how much I'm going to give. I will first check how it's good, how you get on. What does that mean, to get on? How you are going to do things. How you will carry on. Whether you can do it, whether you cannot. To figure out before all that. I want to figure it out before I decide on your payment. How you get on. Get on means to get along with something. Right? So he wants to check that first. If I'm happy with your work, I will not disappoint you with the pay. So he promises, the man in the farm, he promises what? That don't worry. If you do well, I'm not going to disappoint you. I'll give you good amount of money. What does that mean? Good means. What does good mean? Whatever the payment is in some other place, whatever they pay, I'm going to pay you at least that much. I'm not going to pay you less than what the usual payment is. Alright? I'll be in the greenhouse. You know what a greenhouse is, right? A greenhouse. That's where you trap solar energy to grow vegetables. Get started and I'll see you later. To get started. Oh, you get started. What does that mean? You begin. To get started means to begin. Begin your work, please. And I'll be around. I'll see you later. To begin. Begin now. Shortly, armed with a pail each. So what did they do? So they carried pail, the cylindrical pot, where they would collect all the caterpillars and they would put it, right? So they are armed. That means they have carried. To arm yourself means to carry something. To arm yourself. Arm. To arm. What does that mean?
Carry.
The children approached the cabbage patch. So where did they go? In the farm? Wherever there was a spot. Patch. Patch means a spot, a place. Patch means a place. It could also mean, like, for example, if you have a small kind of spot in your hand or in your body, it can also be a patch. Patch, a part. Patch is a part. Patch is a part, okay. So they approach. To approach means
To reach.
to reach or to go or to be near. To be near. So they neared the cabbage patch. It was so enormous. Enormous means huge. Enormous means huge, big. Enormous, enormous. What does enormous mean? Hello, Sagar. Huge. What was enormous? What? What was huge? My head. What was huge? Pushpa, what was huge? Cabbage was huge. The place, the spot where the farmer grew cabbage was huge. It was not a small place. And he wanted them to actually collect all the caterpillars that were lying on the cabbage. So, at least, Sarah said. And if there are 10 caterpillars on each cabbage, that makes there are 1 billion caterpillars. So that is just trying to figure out how many caterpillars are there. So let's say a cabbage contains 10 caterpillars. It's so huge, that means she's trying to express that the patch is, that piece of land where cabbage is grown is huge. She's just trying to express in that way. So each cabbage, let's say, has how many caterpillars? 10 caterpillars. And in that huge patch, there are about, in each, if there are 10, that means how many? Billion. How many?
Billion.
What does that tell us?
So
How big is the patch? How big is the patch? Definitely huge. Because to have billion caterpillars is not a joke, right? Yes. How much is billion? 10 lakh is 1 million. And then 1,000 million is 1 billion. Think about this number. It's a huge number. Sarah stood open-mouthed. She's, my God. That's open-mouth expression. Open-mouth expression? What? Can we finish all this? Open-mouth with, what is this? That's too much. More than expected. Beyond all the expectation that you had. Beyond all that you had anticipated. Beyond all that you had thought. It's so huge. She's open-mouthed. So do you understand open-mouthed?
yes.
To be? When you are extremely surprised. Why was she surprised?
Because the cabbage patch was used.
Because that piece of land where the cabbage was grown was huge. And they didn't know where to start. The job looked really tough. Oh my God, how should we do this? It's tough. Jamie wondered about her arithmetic, calculation. Billion. If each is 10, there are so many cabbages, 1 billion caterpillars to pick. So he wondered about them, but knew better than to dispute. He didn't want to say, oh no, there are not many. He didn't want to have a discussion. Dispute means a quarrel is a dispute. A petty quarrel is a dispute. Like for example, right now China and India, they have a dispute. Some kind of disagreement is a dispute. Disagreement is a dispute. A quarrel. Disagreement. So he didn't want to have a disagreement. They started on the first row of the cabbage, the first line of the cabbage. Right? There is a huge patch, And they've started from the beginning, from the first row. So you have this cabbage field, and then you have many cabbages like these ones. You start from somewhere here, right? So you start from somewhere here. So that's the first row. So you start from the first row. I started from the first row. It was really a hideous job. Hideous. Hateful. Hideous means? Hateful. Lot of hate. Dirty. Hate. Filled with hate. Hateful, F-U-L. Hateful. The caterpillars wriggled as they picked up. What happened? So whenever they were trying to pick up the caterpillars, they were twisting and turning. That's called wriggling. So they were holding like this, and the caterpillars, they were making some kind of gesture, some kind of movement, right? They were curling, moving, twisting. That is wriggling. And it feels it doesn't feel comfortable, right? And especially the children, those who have grown in the city, they find it horrible. Almost as like insect. Why should you feel horrible? It's just beautiful insect. But that's how it is, right? So it was, as they were picking up, it took the two children ages to finish the first row. So while they were working, they found out that it took a lot of time to finish even the first line. To even finish the first line, it took a lot of time. Lot of time. Pay attention, pay attention. Don't sleep. Learn the words, learn the meaning. I'm explaining it in English so that you improve your English. I'm not going to translate in Nepali. We will only translate, I will try to understand words through English translation. Not by translating it into Nepali. So that's the reason why I'm not translating it. So wriggle. So it was twisting and turning the caterpillars, and they picked it up. Couldn't see the bottom of the bucket. And already they couldn't see the bottom of the bucket for caterpillars. Oh my God. What does that tell us? The bottom of the bucket. So let's say you have a bucket like this. So this is a bucket. There are many. They have already picked a lot of caterpillars here.
Yes.
They have completed just the first row, right? And the bottom is already covered with the caterpillars. What does that tell us?
Because there were
That tells us that if the first row itself fills the bottom, imagine how many caterpillars are there. How much time it's going to take. Right? So they were wondering about what they would do. Buckets of and all around them the air was filled with cabbage white butterflies, and if they just looked here and there in the air, they could see all the butterflies flying around. Even if they pick all the caterpillars, by the time they are about a few rows ahead, the caterpillars would lay some more eggs, and then again some more caterpillars. How difficult is the job? Isn't that difficult one?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a difficult one. It's like sitting in the class. No matter what the time is, the chapter never ends. It keeps on going. Somebody is sleeping. Vidya Tulsi, like this. Vidya is talking and talking and talking and talking and explaining words. And the bell is also ringing, but the chapter never ends. And he also doesn't stop. I'm not going to stop till I finish the chapter. I have to finish the chapter. So the job was hideous. There are so many caterpillars and there were white butterflies flying around. The air was filled with white butterflies. The insects seemed to be mocking them. To mock, make fun. You fellows are picking some caterpillars. We are here. We'll produce some more. Huh? We'll produce some more. You are picking some of our babies. Who cares? We are so many. We'll again give birth. So it felt like that. It felt like that. Huh? It felt like a mocking. What does mocking mean? To make fun. It felt like that. You can feel it, right? For example, some of the lazy fellows here, they are mocking at me. You are teaching, we will relax. We will relax. We will keep on sleeping. What are you teaching about white cabbage? Who cares about white cabbage white? Who cares about cabbage? We are already somewhere else. And then after the class, if I ask you, you'll be like, huh? What a cabbage white. There is no change. Before, whatever you carried in your brain before you came to the class, you will carry the same thing or even a little less. You go out of the class. And that's a mocking. They seem to be saying, we don't care if you kill our caterpillars, we will lay millions of eggs. And kill as many as you want. We will happily, reproduce some more. That's the way they were trying to mock. Sarah and Jamie were now very desperate. They were frustrated. Oh my God, what to do? There's no solution. If we pick all these caterpillars, by the time I go to the next one, some butterflies are going to sit and they are going to lay some eggs. These eggs are going to develop into caterpillar. So desperate. Desperate means helpless. Desperate, helpless. Frustrated. Right. Sarah struck out the butterfly. So struck, to hit. Like that's a struck. Like I have a stick here. Like if I get this stick, like I can struck somebody who is sleeping like this. Right? So Sarah, what did she do? Struck out at the butterflies, right? With a stick probably. She missed. So she hit the butterfly, but she missed. Of course, butterflies are going to fly away. She missed. Struck, to hit, right? Struck, what does that mean?
Struck to hit.
She watched it fly gaily away, and then when she saw the butterfly, after striking it, strike, past of strike is struck. So she could see the butterfly happily fly. The butterfly was happy, gaily. Gaily means with gay and joy and happiness. Didn't matter at all. Hey, you poor girl, what are you doing? Huh? No, I'm not saying that to Pushpa. I'm saying that to the girl, to Sweta. Gaily, with joy, gay, happy. Gay means happy also. Huh? Happily, it flew away. Then she had an idea. Oh my God, what to do? Now she had an idea. Something came to her as brilliant. Brilliant means highly intelligent. Brilliant. Something that is bright. Brilliant. Brilliant idea in its way. As Einstein came up with E equals to mc square. Einstein was brilliant to come up with I equals to mc square. And then this lady, this girl, Sarah, also had a wonderful idea like Einstein to kill these, probably to kill or to get rid or to eliminate all the caterpillars. Jamie, caterpillars come from eggs, right? She said. Where do these caterpillars come from? They come from eggs. Right? Right? He nodded to make like, yes. Yes, pakka yes. At her remark. Whatever the remark is, a saying, right? Something that you say as a remark. Where do eggs come from? She further inquired. She asked, hey Jamie, where do eggs come from? Tell me. Where do they come from? Of course, the butterflies lay them. Who lays eggs? Butterflies lay eggs, right?
Yeah.
They produce eggs. Right. So she reasoned. If we get rid of the butterflies, there won't be any more eggs or caterpillars. So, the root cause of all the caterpillars is the butterflies. These butterflies are the root cause of these caterpillars. So let's get rid of them. Alright, caterpillar. Right, Jamie agreed. Jamie said, okay, wonderful idea. So why don't we get rid of the butterflies? How? He asked. So Sarah said, well, why don't we get rid of the butterflies? And Jamie said, how? How should we do it? Nearby there were two beans climbing up bamboo poles. So beans climbing bamboo poles. So in the farm, so you had these two poles. Okay? These two poles, and the beans were actually climbing these poles. Beans, seen.
Yes.
Creepers, right? Beans are creepers. Laza. Feeling lazy, yeah? And the bean was probably dry, isn't it? What does the paragraph say? Two bean plants died. So these two bean plants had died. So what did they do? She handed one of the poles to Jenny. She plucked it out and she gave one of those poles to Jenny. And the other one she got it. One of those to Jimmy. And then rushed into the cabbage patch. So they ran to the cabbage patch. The land where they grew. Here the farmer grew cabbage. Swinging her pole round and round, trying to hit the butterflies. Wherever the butterflies were there, she was trying to hit and kill the butterflies. So she was striking all the butterflies. All the butterflies were flying. She was swinging her pole, right? Trying to hit the butterfly. This seemed to Jamie like a good game. So Jamie also went, that's a wonderful idea. It's like a game. You don't have to pick all these wriggling caterpillars. Rather than that, just swing around, It's like being, nasty at work, right? If you are given a work, somehow you find something to do in a foolish way. Or something like that. So he followed her. It's not easy to hit flying butterflies. When the butterflies are flying, it's not that easy, right? So hitting flying butterflies is not easy. But it is not difficult to hit them when they settle on cabbages, right? So when they are flying, it's a bit hard. When they settle, what settles?
Yes.
When the butterflies settle is to rest. Settle is to
Rest.
When the butterflies rest on the cabbage, it's not a hard thing. Soon the ground was covered with dead butterflies. So they were hitting all the butterflies that were on the cabbages, right? They were hitting all the butterflies that were resting or settling on the cabbages. And soon the ground was filled with this. So all the dead butterflies were on the ground. Sarah and Jamie fought until they were completely exhausted, tired. They were hitting here and there and there and here. But at the end, they got tired. They got
Tired.
Oops. They got tired. T-I-R-E-D, okay? Let me write that down. Exhausted means? Then they stood back to admire their work, and then finally after time, let's take rest, And then they were watching, all the butterflies are dead now, and they were admiring their work, they were appreciating. They were, we did wonderful job, admire. You admire your own beauty, I'm beautiful. I'm the most beautiful girl in the The most handsome boy in this world. Admire, you know. Huh? So admire. Appreciate. There were hardly any butterflies. There were no butterflies. There were hardly any cabbages left either. There are no butterflies, but also no cabbages. Why? Because when you hit a butterfly on the cabbage, of course the cabbage is also not going to be as it is, right? It's also going to be destroyed. Baba, there were hardly any cabbages left either. It is difficult to hit the butterfly on the cabbage without hitting the cabbage too. You cannot hit it, right? Once what happened was, one of our friends, he was making incense. He was making incense. And on the table when you make incense, the table where you roll incense, the paste gets stuck actually. So to remove that, you use knife. And he used to use what? Blade. Okay, blade. You know blade, right?
Yes.
Shaving blade and so on. And once what happened was he was making incense and then a fly was disturbing him continuously. He was wearing shorts like me now. Huh? And then this butterfly, this fly was always sitting here or there or here and there. And then once that fly, it sat on his thigh, naked thigh. Huh? So he wanted to kill it. He took his blade, he took that blade, and he wanted to cut the fly into two pieces, but fly went off, flew away, and he cut his thigh deep enough to be hurt. Look at the foolishness. That's not rare. It's quite common. The cabbage patch looked like a battlefield. It didn't look like a cabbage field anymore. It looked as if people were fighting there. It looked messy and there was nothing left. Nothing was left anymore. Battlefield, place where you fight, right? Kurukshetra. Place of fight. Not a cabbage was left standing. There was no cabbage that was standing. All were destroyed. The children looked at each other. Now they started to look at each other. What did we do? What did we do? Terrible. Without a word, they put down the bamboo poles. They didn't say a word to each other. They knew what they had done. And then they put down the bamboo pole, tiptoed out of the garden, and they walked like this out of the garden, tiptoed out of the garden. He knows our names, Jamie said. Jamie said, he knows the names, but he does not know where we live. Thank goodness, they both said. And then they probably didn't ask for money, definitely. They ran away. Tiptoed. To walk on the toes. Okay. So with that, we finish this lesson.